Hello and welcome back to my channel, and in today's review I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Avengers Endgame Wave 3 Iron Patriot. This was by far one of my most anticipated figures from this Avengers Endgame Wave 3 assortment, and I really can't wait to crack this figure out of his packaging and see how awesome he actually is out of his box. As you can see, in package we have a fantastic view of the figure himself with the various different accessories. We can also see that he does in fact include both of Thor's head sculpts, both Thor without the glasses and Thor with the glasses. I do believe that this is the first time that we're actually getting the Avengers Endgame logo on a Marvel Legends packaging, as the movie has been out for some time now. If you turn around now to the side of the packaging, as you can see, you do in fact have an image of the Iron Patriot. However, this definitely does seem to be the artwork that appeared on the War Machine package, which was part of Wave 2 of the assortment. If you turn around now to the back of the box, we've got a really awesome image of War Machine or Iron Patriot, and it states here that Iron Patriot, proud and powerful, the Iron Patriot is heavily armed, high-tech, and ready for battle. We've also got an image of what the Borowski 4 will look like when he is fully completed, and we do in fact have images of all of the other figures in the assortment, and this is actually a complete MCU wave, so be sure to subscribe as I will be in fact reviewing every single figure from this wave. I do believe that covers about everything for the packaging, so let's crack him out of his box and see how awesome he really is. And here we have the Avengers Endgame Marvel Legends Iron Patriot out of his packaging and looking absolutely incredible. This was by far one of my most anticipated figures from this wave. After originally holding out on the Wave 2 War Machine figure, I was so glad to see Hasbro announce a more accurate looking Iron Patriot, as was seen in the final battle of Avengers Endgame. And this figure definitely lives up to the hype. This is just such a heavily armoured, really awesome, heavy duty looking suit, and it really does look incredible in plastic form. Now, the figure does actually come with quite a few accessories. These missile pods do in fact come separate from the package, as well as these laser launchers at the top, so you will actually in fact have to insert these into the back upon opening the figure. So those are the 4 accessories that actually come with to help aid the figure. The other 2 accessories that he comes with are in fact the Thor Build-A-Figure pieces. Here is one of the Thor head sculpts. This is the version with the glasses on. Obviously I won't cover these in too much detail, as I will be in fact reviewing the Borowski or Fat Thor when I've eventually opened all of these Avenger Endgame figures, but this is definitely a really awesome head sculpt, and he also includes a version without glasses, which definitely looks really awesome, and will probably be the head sculpt that I do in fact display on my Infinity War Thor. Getting back now to the Iron Patriot, bringing him in for a closer look, you can really see all of the amazing sculpting and detailing that this figure does in fact have, and this figure is actually covered in so much metallic blue paint, as well as accompanied by metallic blue plastic. This figure really does look very impressive, and definitely has a very premium look to the overall figure. As you can see, we've got some super nice decals on the sides of the Iron Patriot shoulders, and we've also got some nice silver paint apps. The arc reactor is ever so slightly mispainted. It's not dead in the center, but that's definitely not a drawback. These missile pods have also been painted incredibly nice, and I believe that these are in fact lasers. They do definitely look as if though they are lasers, and these two have got some super nice detailing and nice paint apps. They do appear to have been molded in a pliable metallic blue like plastic, which actually complements the painted areas of the figure exceptionally well. Hasbro have done an incredible job in actually color matching the plastic as well as the paint, but the helmet design looks really awesome. I do believe that this is the exact same helmet that came with the War Machine as part of the Endgame Wave 2 figures, so there is nothing new here other than the new paint scheme. But the torso section too has been detailed incredibly well. I love the red and silver paint apps. The silver highlights on the red paint really do help to make it pop and really do give the figure a layered sense of realism. Turning to the figure's armor, as you can see, he does in fact have more ammunition on the actual forearms themselves to make this figure look really heavily armored up, and they look awesome as well. You've also got a small gun underneath, which looks really cool, and he does in fact have details of the repulsor blast in either side of the fists. However, the fists are not articulated, so it's really only this one that you can see it really clearly. This one is half capped by the fist. Moving down now to the shins of the figure, as you can see, you've got the missile pods on either side, which look really nice. You can in fact actually remove these missile pods, however they are rather difficult to get back into place. Moving down to the shins, as you can see, he's also got some super nice red paint apps as well as some silver on the knee pad, and the entire entire boot section of the figure has been cast in that clear metallic blue plastic, which looks really nice, with some red paint apps to define some of the detailing. Turning around now to the back, and once again there is also some super nice detailing. It's great to see that Hasbro haven't skimped out on paint here, as they've actually painted the vents of the suit in a silver colour, and the back of the arms are also picked out in a super nice metallic red paint. Where the back of the missiles are situated are also picked out in red paint, so you do in fact have them painted on both sides, which is really nice, and there is also some nice red paint on the back of the figure's legs. Turning now to articulation, surprisingly the figure does actually have quite a good range of motion. However, due to the bulky nature of the suit itself, some areas are slightly restricted. The head is on a ball joint, so is able to look left and right, as well as tilt from side to side, and can look down as well as up about that far before being restricted by the back of the neck piece. The arms can rotate forwards and backwards on some soft ratchet joints, as well as out to the sides due to these shoulder pieces actually being made of a rubbery type of plastic. There is also a rotation at the top of the bicep, as well as a swivel joint where the elbow is, and the elbows can also bend roughly to a 90-degree angle. There is also a full 360-degree rotation at the wrists, and the wrists are able to hinge forwards and backwards, so if you wish you can make it look as if though he's actually firing from his repulsor blast. In terms of torso articulation, the torso is able to actually rotate left and right. This dubs more as his waist joint, seeing as the waist is situated and designed in a rather obscure manner. That is why I believe that they did put the swivel joint at the top section of where the ab crunch would be. There you don't really get too much ab crunch. It does tilt forwards and backwards ever so slightly, but there's not a great degree of motion out of that due to the design and sculpt of the suit. And then turning to the legs of the figure, these can kick outwards that far, which I believe is a great range of motion, as well as back about that far. He can do the splits out to this degree, however this hip armor here will in fact obscure that. He does in fact have a double jointed knee joint, so you can in fact get quite a great range of motion out of that, not to the degree where you can get the foot touching the back, but it is still nice nonetheless. And straightening that back out, he does in fact have a hinge joint at the foot, which is on a ratchet pivoting forwards and backwards, and it can also rock from side to side. So overall for articulation, it is actually quite surprisingly pleasing, seeing as how bulky the design of the character actually is. Due to the extra weapons at the top actually having to be plugged into the figure, you can in fact detach them and have these completely off if you want, and they are also on joints allowing you to move these from side to side as well. There's no back and forth motion, but that is still nice nevertheless, as it does help to accommodate some other poses. For an Avengers Endgame size comparison, here is the brand new Iron Patriot compared to the Wave 2 Endgame Rescue armor, as well as the worthy Captain America. As you can see, he is slightly bigger than Rescue as well as Captain America, but overall has much more bulk in terms of the torso area when compared to these two figures, so I definitely think that he scales and looks great when posed next to other Avenger Endgame figures. So that is my review on the brand new Marvel Legends Avengers Endgame Wave 3 Iron Patriot figure. If you couldn't already tell, I'm highly impressed with this release by Hasbro. I think that this is a great inclusion to the Avengers Endgame lineup, and the Iron Patriot design in Endgame was actually one of my favourite suits from that particular movie, so it's fantastic to see Hasbro actually going back and giving us a more accurate suit design than the original War Machine that came packed in Wave 2. I think for the figure's overall build, I think the articulation is exceptionally impressive, and considering that this is actually one of the larger figures in the wave, I actually think it's quite impressive seeing how much paint and accessories that he actually comes with, as well as a Build-A-Figure piece for the actual Build-A-Figure 4 figure. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below, and be sure to stay tuned for my next review, which I do believe will be on the Avengers Endgame Captain America. Thanks for watching.